Many thanks for joining us at this time. Now details of the news. Vice President Kashim Shettima will depart Abuja for Sweden on a two-day visit to represent Nigeria in bilateral engagement with the Scandinavian nation. At the instance of President Bola Tinubu, the Vice President, during the working visit, will engage in high-level bilateral talks with key government officials, including a meeting with Crown Princess Victoria of Sweden and the Swedish Prime Minister. Senator Shettima will use the visit to explore opportunities for strengthened collaboration between Nigeria and Sweden in areas such as ICT, innovation, education, digitization, sustainable transport, mining and agriculture. Senior Special Assistant to the President in Media and Publicity, Office of the Vice President, Stanley Kocha, in a statement said the Vice President will also meet with key stakeholders in both the government and private sector. Nkocha said the Vice President will also meet with Norsken, a token-based venture capital impact investor, which recently launched Norsken 22, a USD 205 million tech investment fund for Africa. Notably, 40% of the investment from Norsken 22 are expected to be allocated to Nigerian technology entrepreneurs. 12 Nigerian private sector companies that are doing business with Sweden are going independently as private sector bloc. Rivers Assembly has declared Prof. Fubara lawmaker's seat vacant and has decided to write to the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) to conduct elections for the vacant seats within 90 days. The decision was agreed during a plenary session led by Speaker of the House Martin Amaewhule. The declaration followed a motion by Leader of the House, Major Jack, when presenting the appeal court judgment which affirmed the speakership of Martin Amaewhule. The affected members are Edison Ehie, currently Chief of Staff Government House, Victor Okojumbo, current factional Speaker of the Assembly, Adolphus Timothy, and Sekari Goodboy.
By Section 1092 of the 1999 Constitution, as altered to give effect to Section 1091 of the Constitution and declare their seats vacant in following satisfactory evidences of their willful absence from meetings to sitting of the House.
The House of Assembly was created by the Constitution, and all of our activities and functions are as dictated by the Constitution. And so, the Constitution has said if a member is absent for 1/3 of our total sittings, Mr. Speaker, we have no choice but to abide by the spirit and letter of the Constitution, the Federal Government of Nigeria, 1999, as altered.
Their seats are here vacant. You can see for all the people that we mentioned in this bill, their seats are here vacant, and they are not here. Since this is 152 days. There is nothing we can do. We are going to follow the Constitution. And I want to align myself with this motion. The Constitution has said it, and there is nothing we can do than to follow the Constitution. Mr. Speaker, align with this motion.
Section 109, subsection 1E and F, that the seats of these 4 members have been declared vacant. Members whose seats have been declared vacant are Honorable Edison Ehie. Until today, he was representing the people of Ahoda East Constituency 2.
The House also agreed to give Governor Fubara another opportunity to present the 2024 appropriation bill following the nullification by the appeal court of 800 billion naira bill, which he had presented to a parallel house led by Edison Ehie. With this move, the Assembly strengthened its position, and it remains to be seen how the governor and his loyalists will respond.
We are representatives of our people. We love our state, Rivers State. We want peace in this state. That is why we have decided to heed to the pleas that we should give the governor one more opportunity to present the 2024 appropriation bill. By your voting, we are going to allow the governor one more opportunity to present, because he has never presented it.
The issue of grid collapse in Nigeria has once again made it to the front burner, and now we are joined with Professor Isaiah Adejumobi, Professor of Power System Engineering FNAB, and Engineer Olumayowa Idowu FNSE, Chairman Nigerian Society of Engineers, Abeokuta, joining us live from.
Good evening. How are you?
Yeah, good evening.
Okay, all right. So I'll be starting with the professor. Thank you so much for joining us at this time. So the nation has witnessed repeated collapse of the national grid in days. What does this say about our energy infrastructure?
Traits that grid collapse doesn't just come one day. It is accumulated effect of maybe a problem that the grid must have been experiencing. We have grid collapse mostly when the energy produced and the energy demand are not equal. Ordinarily, for a balanced grid system, we expect the amount of energy being produced from generation station to equal to the energy being demanded by the consumers. But because of the situation on ground, poor infrastructures, a lot of things is happening. And this poor infrastructure is not ordinary poor infrastructure. There are so many factors also attached to it. So when there is energy imbalance due to the infrastructure, and not only infrastructure, because most of our power stations are gas supplied, or the primary energy today is gas supply. When you don't have enough gas to power the generation stations, when the equipment and infrastructures are very weak, then there's tendency with the demand in the nation. So whenever we have this imbalance, definitely there will be system collapse.
Okay, all right. Now to the engineer. Nigeria is yet to attain our full potentials as it relates to the amount of megawatts that can be produced. So where exactly are we now, and where are we supposed to be?
All right. You are right that we are still far from reaching our full potential in electricity generation. Currently, our grid capacity fluctuates between 3,005 and 4,005 megawatts, while our installed generation capacity is around like 12,000 megawatts. So, however, this installed capacity is not fully utilized due to constraints in transmission, in distribution, and other inefficiencies in the power sector. You asked a question that where are we now? Yes, when you look at our generation, we have installed capacity of around 12,500 megawatts, but we struggle to even deliver around 3,500 megawatts due to poor infrastructure, like Professor said, like due to gas supply issues, due to technical failures and the likes. And also, when you look at our transmission, you discover that transmission even struggle to deliver a fraction of the generated, electricity. So we are not there at all. When you look at our distribution, our disco, they also have their own issues. When you look at technical loss, when you look at energy theft, so we are not there at all. And the next question is where are we supposed to be? Looking at our population, looking at the energy demand, we should be looking at optimizing our capacity. We should the Nigerian energy demand.
Okay, it seems we've lost your audio over there. Okay, but while we are getting your audio fixed, I'd like to go to Professor Isaiah. So should Nigerians continue to live and pay in darkness in spite of this new classification of electricity distribution depending on the band that you fall among? So should Nigeria continue to pay? Why are we in darkness?
Well, I think if you check our Sustainable Development Goal, I think number 7, it has been stipulated that worldwide we should also integrate renewable energies into our power system. And this is a government Government had been on it for years past. But I think for us to be able to get out of this trouble, we also need to go into renewable energy so that we'll be able to integrate then the renewable energy to our energy sectors, thereby enhancing our generating capacity. And that is one side. We can also encourage those investors to also venture in, like in other parts of the world, into power generations, especially in the area of renewable energy such as wind power generations and also solar power generation. Government is encouraging people to do so, and government is also trying to do their own best. In order to be able to get out of this mess, I think responsibility, investors, individuals who have capacity to do so. Otherwise, this issue of energy imbalance will continue like this. Just as the engineer said, our infrastructure cannot even carry, even if we increase our generation now. But if we have other sectors like in IPP, that is independent power productions from individual companies, I think it will also assist in a larger way. And apart from that, all our aging equipment will have to be replaced. That's the reality. Cannibalizing one with one component or the other cannot solve this problem. We continue to, this event of power collapse, we continue to reoccur in as much as we cannot replace the old infrastructure with the new one. So please, what I would just encourage is that individual investors, we have to come in now if we want to rescue these unwarranted and terrible situations.
Thank you so much for that. And to Engineer Olumayowa, what advice would you give to Nigerians when considering alternative sources of energy, since the current one that we are using is not really sufficient with this persistent grid collapse that we keep experiencing?
Of course, if we try to explore other sources, this is going to help us to not to rely fully on the national grid. It's going to help us to reduce pressure on the national grid and also provide cleaner, sustainable, power for the future. So it's much more better for us to explore this alternate, energy source for the interest of our country, considering the issues that we're having around us presently.
Okay, all right. We really thank you both for sharing with us from the wealth of your experiences. Thank you so much for being in Galaxy TV News.
Thank you very much.
Welcome. Thank you.
Welcome.
All right, and that's Professor Isaiah Adeobi, Professor of Power System Engineering, FNAP, and Engineer Olumayowa Idowu. On to other stories, the Nigerian Senate has expressed shock over the death of over 100 people who were burnt to death while scooping fuel from a fallen truck near Dutse, the Jigawa state capital. The Senate equally called in the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, to provide relief materials to surviving victims of the explosion. Correspondent Kulojo reports that the lawmakers also urged the National Orientation Agency to carry out adequate sensitization on the dangers of scooping fuel from falling trucks. The Upper Legislative Chamber reached these resolutions on Wednesday after a debate on a motion sponsored by Senator Representative Jigawa North, Babangida Hussein.
The President, the Senate, is to note that on the night of 15th October, yesterday, a tanker fully loaded with petroleum motor spirit, PMS, called Petrol, exploded along Hadeji Expressway in Majia town, located in Toro local government of Jigawa State, which is about 117 kilometers northeast of Dutse, the state capital.
In a remark, the President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, warned Nigerians on the dangers in scooping fuel when such accidents occur.
God will grant solace to the families of those who lost their loved ones and then of course Ajena Fidel to those who have departed. And I want to also pray that those in hospitals will also survive. However, I think we should also call on the state government to take proactive steps to save more lives. But may we rise for 1 minute silence in their honor.
The Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, Yemi Cardoso, has outlined measures to tackle inflation and strengthen the banking sector, projecting a more resilient financial system by 2026. Addressing the House of Representatives Committee on Banking, Cardoso highlighted the CBN's recapitalization effort aimed at supporting the global of a $1 trillion economy by 2030. He also projected a 3.2% growth rate for 2024 and 3.3% for 2025, with the non-oil sector contributing 94.3% to the GDP and a 2.8% growth rate. The oil sector's growth rose to 10.15% in the second quarter of 2024, largely due to improved security measures. Cardoso discussed significant improvement in Nigeria's foreign exchange reserves, which grew 12.74% to $39.12 billion by October 2024. He noted that these reserves can now cover over 12 months of import, far exceeding international benchmark. He emphasized reforms in the foreign exchange market, including the unification of exchange rates and resumption of FX sales at various segments, improving transparency and liquidity.
Regarding the foreign exchange market, the bank implemented various reforms, including a unification strategy which streamlined various exchange rate windows into a single model, adopting the willing buyer, willing seller approach to enhance FX liquidity and financial market stability. I want to assure you that in spite of the challenges confronting our economy, there are clear reasons for optimism. The gradual moderation in inflation, foreign exchange stability, ongoing banking sector recapitalization, and other positive trends in key sectors indicate a path towards macroeconomic growth and stability.
Palatable reality, the Naira has depreciated to around 1,500 Naira to the US dollar. For a country that relies on imports, this exchange rate crisis is not just an inconvenience, it is devastating. Nigerians are yet to see any real improvement in their day-to-day lives. Again, I feel we are all responsible.
Now, we'll go to the international desk for more news.
Hello and welcome to the Foreign News. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has presented MPs with a long-awaited victory plan that aims to strengthen his country's position enough to end the war with Russia. Zelensky told Parliament in Kyiv that